Hi, y'all. So I wanted to take a second and record a couple of videos so that you could go back and watch them over and over again with regards to our operations with fractions, because I do think we struggled a little bit there. So I'm going to work on some adding and subtracting today. So I'm going to put them both in the same video, and I'm just going to go through a couple of examples. So we're adding fractions first. And we know that when we do the algorithm, and when I say algorithm, I mean, oh, here's how I would do it the way, you and I do it now, right? You're getting your common denominators, you're getting the correct numerators, and then you're adding and things. And I want to make sure that we understand how we're adding them with our pictures and how we're adding them with our algorithms. So let's start with something like 3/4 plus 2/4. Right? Now, these already have common denominators, and you know that all I have to do is add the pieces together. And that's because having common denominators means that the pieces are the same size. So it means that I have 3/4. So cut my box into fourths, shade 3 of them. So there's my 3/4. And I am adding to that an additional 2/4. And we're pretending those boxes are the same size. Okay, and so this one looks like this, right? And that's our 2/4. And because all of my pieces are the same size, I'm just counting up how many fourths we have. And so when we add them together, then the fourths is what size piece they are. And then 3 yellow plus 2 green gives me 5. Okay. Now, if I were to take this box right here and move that, oh, it won't let me do it. And I'm going to get rid of it here and move it over here, then you can see that what I really have is a 1 hole filled in, and then 1 out of 4 pieces in the other box, right? And that's what this is, right? So you're saying 4 of those make up a whole, and I have 1/4 left over, right? And so that's kind of how you can see where the mixed numbers come from. Okay. Now, of course, with the algorithm, I wouldn't do anything differently here. I would just add up numerators because the piece sizes are the same, because your denominators are the same. So then let's add two things that don't have the same denominator. So 3/4 plus 1/3 this time. So I'm going to start with that same box. And I'm going to, this time, instead of cutting it into the sideways and vertically, I'm only going to cut it vertically so that I can be consistent. And I'm going to shade 3 of the 4. Okay, so there's my 3/4. And to that, we are going to add 1/3. So same size box ish, only this time I'm cutting it into thirds. And I'm going to shade 1 of them. Okay, and that's my 1/3. And I can't just add those together because I have 3 pieces that are slightly smaller than the 4th piece, right? The green ones are a little bit smaller than the blue ones. So I have to make sure I get everything the same size first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them the same number as the other one, just opposite direction. So my green one is cut into 4 pieces vertically. So I'm going to cut it into 3 pieces this way. Right? And that created 12 equal pieces. And I have 9 of them that are shaded in. So that became 9/12. And then over here, it was already cut into 3 vertically. So I'm going to cut it into 4 horizontally. Now I've got 12 even pieces, and I have 4 that are shaded. And now that I have them all even, all the same pieces, then I can add them together. And that's going to give me a total of 13 pieces, and each one is a 12th. And so then you can kind of see that we could do the same thing that we did in the last one, right? So I could take 3 of these and put them over here. And that'll give me 1 whole and 1 out of those 12 left over. Okay, now you don't have to erase and move them on. I'm just trying to show you that that's how you can kind of see the mixed number piece. Okay, and that's what happens when we're adding. So that's all we're doing. Okay, if there were mixed numbers here and I had 1s and 2s in addition to those, I would just add those up and get 3 wholes, and then I'm adding my fractions together. Okay, now if I'm going to subtract fractions, I'm going to do the same exact one, only we're going to subtract. So we're starting with 3/4. This time we're going to subtract 1/3. So we're going to use a comparison method. Okay. Mostly because you want to visualize the common denominators. And so that means we're going to start with that 3/4 again. So I'm going to cut them vertically into 4s and shade in 3 of them. And that's my 3/4. And I'm going to compare that to 1/3. So let's see. Now we're going to make this into 1/3. So I'm cutting into 3 pieces and I'm going to shade this first box. And that way I've shaded 1/3 of my whole. And now I'm trying to compare. I'm trying to say how much more does 3/4 have than 1/3? And I can't do that because they're not the same size pieces. So what I need to do is I need to get those common denominators. I need to get the same size pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it horizontally using the denominator of the other fraction. So my 3/4 is divided into fourths. I'm going to cut that into thirds horizontally. So 3 rows. Okay. And that means that now I have 9 out of 12 pieces shaded. And for this one over here, we're going to cut it into fourths to match the other denominator. And that'll give me 12 pieces. And I have 4 that are shaded. And so now I want to know how many more pieces does 9/12 have than 4/12. So I'm going to kind of match up 1 in each spot. So this one matches to this one. This one matches to this one. This one matches to this one, and this one matches to this one. And then I've matched up what they have the same, and that way I can tell how much more yellow I have. So I have 5 pieces of yellow left out of a total of 12 pieces. And that's how I'm subtracting. Okay. All right, we're going to stop that here.